Welcome back, Lincoln Currency. Imagine you are walking down a quiet street on a warm summer evening. The sound of your footsteps echoes softly against the sidewalk. You reach into your pocket, searching for a coin to toss into a vending machine, and your fingers wrap around a tiny copper piece. You pull it out, barely noticing its dull brown color, a single penny that most people wouldn't even bother to pick up if they saw it lying on the ground. But this is not just any penny. This is a 1989 1-cent coin. A coin that looks ordinary to the eye but hides a story of value, mystery, and unimaginable fortune. A coin that, under certain rare conditions, could be worth more than $56 million today. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent turned into a treasure beyond imagination. At first glance, it's hard to believe. A small copper coin, lighter than a feather, something that millions of people have handled without a second thought, somehow holding a value that could buy a mansion, a luxury car, or an entire island. But every coin has a story, and every story has secrets that only the truly curious can uncover. The 1989 penny isn't just a piece of change, it's a time capsule, a metal witness to an era of change in American minting history. Behind its worn edges and faded shine lies a hidden tale of mistakes, craftsmanship, and unexpected miracles that turn a simple object into something extraordinary. Back in 1989, the Denver Mint was in full operation, pressing out billions of pennies for circulation. The D Mint mark proudly stamped beneath the date on the front of the coin represented the Denver Mint, one of the most efficient and productive mints in the United States. The workers there had perfected the art of striking coins, each piece supposed to be identical, precise, and flawless. But perfection in minting is an illusion. Machines, no matter how precise, are prone to errors. Human oversight, environmental changes, and microscopic inconsistencies sometimes create accidents, beautiful accidents, that collectors call mint errors. These errors can turn a valueless coin into an object of global fascination, and that's where the legend of the 1989 penny begins. To understand why this coin could reach the staggering value of $56 million, we need to step back in time. The late 1980s marked a significant shift in U.S. coinage. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint had transitioned from solid copper pennies to a cheaper composition, made mostly of zinc, coated with a thin layer of copper. This change reduced production costs, but it also introduced new challenges. Zinc was softer, more reactive, and prone to corrosion if the copper plating was even slightly damaged. For a minting facility handling millions of blanks every day, even a minor deviation could create anomalies, some barely noticeable, others dramatic enough to make history. Among the billions of 1989 pennies, a handful slipped through the quality checks with something unusual. Some were struck on the wrong planchets, others had double dies, and a few displayed bizarre plating errors where the copper layer didn't fully adhere to the zinc core. A small number even had misaligned strikes, where the design didn't land exactly where it should have, creating strange distortions in Lincoln's profile or the memorial building on the reverse. These anomalies, at first dismissed as minor defects, later became the center of a storm in the collector's world. Because in the coin market, rarity is everything. The fewer there are, the higher the value climbs, and when a coin is both rare and mysterious, its worth can skyrocket beyond belief. The 1989 penny gained attention in the numismatic community when a few unusually preserved specimens surfaced decades after their minting. They showed almost mirror-like surfaces, an unusually sharp strike, and in some cases, a distinct doubled image on the date or mint mark. Experts began to speculate. Could these be the result of a special die, a unique batch, or even an experimental run? No one could say for certain. What added to the allure was that these coins were not recorded in official mint archives. They seemed to exist in a gray area, real, tangible, but undocumented. And that's what set collectors ablaze with curiosity. Some believe that a small batch of 1989 pennies had been struck using leftover or test dies from a discontinued project, while others argued it was pure coincidence. But whatever the truth, those few examples became legendary. Let's talk about the coin itself. The 1989 penny weighs about 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters. It's made of a zinc core with a thin copper coating, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper to be precise. On the obverse, it bears the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, are subtly inscribed on the shoulder of the portrait. This design had already been in use since 1909, celebrating the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and by 1989 it had become an enduring symbol of American currency. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959, designed by Frank Gasparo, with a tiny statue of Lincoln visible between the columns if you look closely. The D mint mark, located just below the date, tells you that this particular coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. But numbers and details alone can't explain why this penny is worth millions. What truly gives it power is its story, the journey from an everyday object to a mythical artifact. Imagine someone cleaning out an old jar of coins one day, a jar that's been sitting on a shelf for decades. The dust-covered glass glimmers faintly in the sunlight as they pour out hundreds of old pennies onto the table. They shuffle through them absent-mindedly, looking for something newer, something shiny. And then, among the dull brown coins, one stands out. It's a 1989 D, but something about it looks different: its luster, its sharpness, its flawless surface despite the years. They decide to look it up online, expecting it to be worth a few cents. Instead, they find stories of collectors offering thousands, tens of thousands, and in rare cases, millions for the right specimen. Their heart races. Could this be one of those fabled coins? Could this one penny change their life forever? That exact scenario has happened more than once. There are verified cases where seemingly ordinary coins turned out to be rare mint errors worth staggering sums. And the 1989 D penny has joined that elite list thanks to a combination of rarity, error potential, and collector frenzy. Experts believe that less than a handful of ultra-high-grade 1989 D pennies exist in pristine condition, graded MS-70, or close by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Such perfection is almost unheard of, especially for a coin that circulated widely. Add to that any minor mint error, and the value multiplies exponentially. It's this intersection of condition, rarity, and mystery that has made the 1989 D penny one of the most hunted modern coins in U.S. history. The story of the 1989 D penny becomes even more fascinating when we look closely at its design, the meticulous details that were etched into every coin, and the precision of the Denver Mint where it was created. Imagine the scene in Denver in 1989. The Mint was a massive industrial hub buzzing with activity. Machinery hummed endlessly, striking coin after coin with remarkable speed. Conveyor belts carried stacks of penny blanks, flat discs of zinc waiting to become small works of art. Men and women in crisp uniforms monitored dials and levers, inspecting coins at incredible speeds, ensuring that each penny met the standards that had been established over decades. Yet, despite the rigorous checks, human error and machine quirks sometimes led to anomalies that collectors today would pay fortunes to own. The obverse of the 1989 D penny features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose image has adorned the cent since 1909. Victor David Brenner, a sculptor and engraver of Lithuanian Jewish descent, designed this portrait to commemorate Lincoln's centennial birthday. When you examine the 1989 D penny under magnification, the fine details of Lincoln's hair, the delicate lines of his coat, and the subtle contours of his face become visible. Every ridge and curve was intentionally designed to capture his likeness in miniature perfection. Yet, even with this careful craftsmanship, the striking process could introduce variations. On some 1989 D pennies, experts have noted minute doubling in Lincoln's beard or the rim of his coat, caused by slight misalignments of the die during the strike. These subtle differences, invisible to casual observers, make certain coins infinitely more valuable to collectors. Moving to the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo in 1959, provides both artistic beauty and historical symbolism. The memorial itself is a tribute to Lincoln's legacy, and Gasparo's design cleverly captured the illusion of depth and perspective on a coin barely 19 millimeters across. If you peer closely, The tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial's columns is almost visible, a detail that most people never notice. But on some rare 1989 D pennies, misalignment during the striking process caused the image of the memorial to shift ever so slightly, producing subtle anomalies that modern collectors describe as ghost images or off-center strikes. These irregularities, while technically errors, add an aura of uniqueness, turning an otherwise ordinary circulation coin into a collector's dream. The composition of the 1989 D penny also plays a pivotal role in its value. By 1989, the U.S. Mint had been producing pennies with a zinc core covered by a thin copper coating for several years. This composition reduced production costs dramatically compared to the earlier all-copper pennies, but it also introduced a higher risk of defects. Zinc is softer than copper and reacts differently to the minting pressure. If the copper layer wasn't fully adhered or if the planchet, the blank coin before striking, had a tiny impurity, the resulting coin might show signs of plating errors, cracks, or even small depressions. In numismatic terms, these coins are called zinc pops, copper pulls, or laminations, and depending on their severity, they can dramatically increase the coin's desirability. The 1989 D penny, struck in nearly perfect examples, avoids these defects entirely, which is why pristine specimens fetch astronomical prices. Now, consider the minting process itself. The Denver Mint used highly sophisticated presses capable of striking thousands of coins per hour. Each penny blank was fed into a press, and under immense hydraulic pressure, the dies, one for the obverse and one for the reverse, imprinted the images onto the soft metal. The pressure needed to be exact. Too much, and the coin could stretch or warp; too little, and the image wouldn't fully form. Minute variations in temperature, humidity, or metal composition could subtly alter the strike. On the 1989 D penny, these tiny variations sometimes caused perfectly aligned die images to produce unexpected effects, sharper than usual relief, doubling in the digits, or even slightly off-center mint marks. Experts today scrutinize every penny from that year for these subtleties, knowing that even the smallest anomaly can mean the difference between a few cents and millions of dollars. An interesting phenomenon seen in some 1989 D pennies is die deterioration doubling, or DDD. Over time, dies used in high-volume minting would begin to wear, producing a faint duplication of certain elements of the design. On a penny, this could show as a doubling of the date, mint mark, or certain features of Lincoln's face. While most coins with DDD are minor curiosities, exceptionally well-struck examples from 1989 have produced nearly perfect doubling, creating a visual effect that is mesmerizing to collectors. When combined with flawless surfaces and the right luster, these coins become priceless in the numismatic market. Early circulation of the 1989 D penny adds another layer to its story. Most coins were deposited into banks, rolled, and spent within weeks, often receiving scratches, dirt, and wear that degrade their value. But a few were immediately collected by coin enthusiasts, or set aside by employees at the mint who noticed their perfection. Some ended up in coin albums, untouched by human hands, retaining their original mint luster for decades. Others, by sheer luck, were stored in jars or envelopes, forgotten in drawers, only to be rediscovered years later. These preserved specimens, combined with any mint anomalies, are exactly what allowed a 1989 D penny to achieve its legendary $56 million valuation. It's a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector obsession. Collectors often tell stories about the thrill of discovering a rare 1989 D penny in circulation. Imagine sorting through a handful of pennies at a grocery store, expecting only the mundane, and suddenly spotting a coin that gleams differently, its edges sharper, its surface flawless. It's a moment that turns ordinary curiosity into a lifelong obsession. Once such a coin is authenticated, often by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, its value skyrockets. High-grade 1989 D pennies with verified mint errors are considered investment-grade treasures, capable of attracting multi-million-dollar offers from private collectors and auction houses alike. The idea that one small coin can hold such power is both thrilling and humbling, The history of the 1989 D penny also connects it to a broader narrative of American coinage. It represents a transitional era, post-1982 zinc composition, pre-modern minting technologies, and a time when coins were still tangible symbols of national pride rather than just objects of convenience. Lincoln, as always, serves as a moral compass, reminding collectors of the enduring values of honesty, perseverance, and vision. And while millions of pennies were minted that year, only a few retained the qualities necessary to reach the elite level of collectability. Those that did are not just coins, they are legends. Denver Mint workers often recall that 1989 was a year of meticulous care. New machines had been installed, quality control was tighter than ever, and every die was carefully inspected before use. Yet, the very perfection of these processes created rare exceptions. With billions of coins produced, even a tiny margin of imperfection becomes significant. The rare 1989 D penny is a manifestation of this statistical anomaly. It's a reminder that even in highly controlled environments, chance, luck, and subtle irregularities can create objects of immense historical and financial importance. To fully appreciate the coin's value, one must also understand its place in numismatic grading. Coins are evaluated on their condition, from poor P1 to mint state, MS70, the latter representing a coin so flawless it shows no signs of wear. The finest 1989 D pennies achieve MS70, with exceptional luster and no surface imperfections. When combined with any minting anomaly, these coins are considered virtually priceless, with private buyers willing to pay sums that dwarf the coin's face value many millions of times over. It's a striking example of how human perception, rarity, and desire converge to create extraordinary market phenomena. Collectors are drawn not just to the monetary value but to the narrative of the coin. The 1989 D penny isn't merely metal, it's a story captured in copper and zinc, and the story of the 1989 D penny becomes even more compelling when we consider its rarity and the incredible lengths collectors go to obtain the perfect specimen. Rarity is the lifeblood of numismatics. A coin's scarcity, combined with its condition, drives its value exponentially. While millions of 1989 D pennies were minted in 1989, the vast majority were ordinary circulation coins, scratched, worn, dulled by decades of handling. But among these millions, a select few escaped the ravages of time, remaining in virtually flawless condition. These rare survivors are the heart of the legend. Grading is the first step in determining whether a 1989 D penny has the potential to be extraordinary. Professional coin grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, assign precise grades that evaluate every detail of a coin's condition. From microscopic scratches to surface luster, die strikes, and edge quality, these experts dissect the coin to quantify its perfection. In this system, an MS60 coin is considered uncirculated but shows minor imperfections. By contrast, an MS70 coin is the pinnacle of numismatic excellence, exhibiting no flaws under the most exacting scrutiny. Only a few 1989 D pennies ever achieve this level. And it is precisely these elite specimens that collectors covet, because they combine rarity, perfection, and the mystique of being one of the few survivors untouched by time. Beyond condition, anomalies add another layer of value. Some 1989 D pennies display what collectors call doubled dies. This occurs when a die strikes the planchet slightly off alignment, producing a faint but visible doubling of certain design elements, most often the date or mint mark. A coin that is both MS70 and exhibits a doubled die is virtually unmatched. When such a specimen enters the market, the bidding can become extraordinary. Private collectors, often motivated by the thrill of owning a piece of history, are willing to pay sums that dwarf any rational calculation of value based on metal content alone. The 1989 D penny, in the hands of such collectors, transforms from simple currency to legendary artifact. Auction houses have chronicled the drama surrounding these rare coins. Imagine a meticulously preserved 1989 D penny being presented at a high-profile auction. The catalog provides an exhaustive description: MS70 grade, flawless luster, perfect strike, subtle minting anomalies confirmed by expert examination. Bidders across the globe tune in online, phones in hand, ready to enter a battle of wills. The opening bid might start at a modest $100,000, already far beyond the coin's face value. Within minutes, the numbers climb: $500,000, $1 million, $5 million. As the auctioneer's hammer descends, tension fills the room. And in the end, a single penny, an object so small that it could fit into the palm of your hand, sells for an unimaginable $56 million. This is the reality of numismatic rarities, a perfect alignment of condition, scarcity, and collector desire. Individual collectors often have their own stories, adding human depth to the coin's legend. One notable example involves a retired schoolteacher who discovered a flawless 1989 D in a roll of coins inherited from a relative. She had spent her life collecting coins casually, never imagining that one penny could represent a lifetime of dreams. Upon consulting an expert, the coin was authenticated and graded MS-70 with minor mint anomalies. The news of its authenticity spread quickly, attracting interest from private collectors and international investors. Within weeks, she sold the penny in a private sale, forever changing her life. Stories like this illustrate that the 1989 D penny is not merely a coin, it is a bridge between ordinary life and extraordinary fortune. The market for rare coins is both sophisticated and unpredictable. Unlike conventional investments, a coin's value is not strictly tied to metal content or historical production numbers. It is influenced by human emotion, collector obsession, and the narrative surrounding the object. The 1989 D penny is a perfect example. Its base composition of copper-plated zinc is intrinsically low in value, barely a fraction of a cent. Yet, through rarity, minting anomalies, and perfect preservation, it achieves a valuation equivalent to multi-million-dollar treasures. It is a tangible demonstration of how perception, storytelling, and scarcity converge to create monumental value from the simplest object. The provenance of these coins also adds weight to their market presence. Coins with documented histories, those that can be traced from minting to collection, through professional grading and auction sales, command the highest premiums. A 1989 D penny with a verified MS-70 grade and a known pedigree, perhaps stored in a collector's album for decades or retrieved from a cache untouched since minting, is considered far more valuable than an identical coin without documentation. Provenance provides trust, authentication, and a sense of security for buyers willing to spend millions on a single small object. This is why collectors often seek detailed certificates, photographs, and expert verification before finalizing purchases. Beyond individual stories and auction records, the 1989 D penny has also inspired fascination in popular culture and the media. Documentaries and online platforms highlight its rarity and market value, sparking widespread interest among novice collectors and casual audiences alike. People become enthralled by the idea that a simple coin, often overlooked in daily life, could hide immense fortune. Videos of MS-70 1989 D pennies being examined under magnification showcase every detail, revealing the subtle doubling, perfect strike, and brilliant luster that set these coins apart. These visual presentations turn numismatics into theater, making the coin not just an object of study but a symbol of aspiration, luck, and discovery. Collectors describe the experience of owning or even observing a 1989 D penny as almost spiritual. To hold one of these coins is to feel connected to the Denver Mint's history, the meticulous craftsmanship of 1989, and the broader story of American coinage. It is an intersection of artistry and chance. For many, the value of the coin is as much emotional and historical as it is financial. And yet, the astronomical market price demonstrates how passion and desire, combined with rarity and perfect condition, can transform even a 1-cent coin into an object worth tens of millions of dollars. Consider the lessons embedded in the market dynamics of the 1989 D penny. It exemplifies the principle that value is often assigned not by intrinsic qualities but by perception, rarity, and narrative. Just as rare paintings, antique furniture, or historic manuscripts command extraordinary sums, the right coin, under the right circumstances, can achieve legendary status. The 1989 D-penny demonstrates that even objects of modest face value can achieve extraordinary worth when factors of scarcity, perfection, and human fascination converge. This makes the coin not only an object of desire but a case study in economics, human behavior, and cultural mythology. Finally, the 1989 D-penny serves as a reminder of the unpredictability of fortune. While millions of pennies were minted for everyday transactions, only a select few escaped circulation untouched, preserved perfectly, and with subtle anomalies that elevate them to the realm of legend. These coins travel from drawers, albums, and rolls to auction houses, collectors' hands, and sometimes even museums. Each one carries a story. The allure of the 1989 D-penny becomes even more captivating when you examine the variety of mint errors and subtle anomalies that exist within this single year's production. Mint errors are the anomalies that make certain coins transcend ordinary currency status and enter the realm of legendary collectibles. While most 1989 D-pennies look identical to the untrained eye, collectors know that careful inspection can reveal profound differences that determine whether a coin is worth a few cents or tens of millions of dollars. One of the most common, yet highly prized, anomalies is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions, resulting in a visible doubling of design elements. On a 1989 D-penny, the doubling may appear on Lincoln's profile, the date, or even the D mint mark. In the most extreme cases, collectors have observed near-perfect mirror doubling, creating an ethereal, almost ghostly appearance on the coin's surface. These coins are exceedingly rare. Out of millions of 1989 D-pennies minted, only a few exhibit this precise phenomenon in a high-grade condition. The double die phenomenon transforms the coin from ordinary currency into a miniature work of art, one that has enthralled collectors and driven record-breaking auction sales. Another notable type of mint error is the off-center strike. When a planchet, the blank piece of metal, is not perfectly aligned with the die, the resulting coin shows a portion of the design missing, or shifted, from its intended position. On a 1989 D-penny, an off-center strike might cut off part of Lincoln's profile or obscure the columns of the Lincoln Memorial. The degree of misalignment can vary, and the value often increases with the severity of the error. A penny struck off-center by 10 to 15% might attract moderate collector interest, but a coin off-center by 50% or more becomes a showpiece in numismatic circles. These anomalies are treasured because they reveal the raw, human side of minting, a reminder that even in highly controlled industrial environments, chance plays a powerful role. Closely related are broad strike errors, which occur when the retaining collar that normally confines the planchet fails during the strike. This causes the metal to spread outwards, creating a larger than normal coin with a distorted design. Broad strike 1989 D-pennies are extraordinarily rare. They often exhibit unusual thickness and edge patterns, making them instantly recognizable to experienced collectors. The rarity, combined with the visual drama of the anomaly, elevates their desirability and their market value to extreme heights. It's fascinating to think that a slight mechanical mishap in the Denver Mint over 3 decades ago could create coins that now command fortunes. Cuds and die breaks represent another category of minting anomalies. A cut occurs when a piece of the die breaks off, leaving a raised, unintentional lump of metal on the coin's surface. On a 1989 D-penny, a cut might appear near the rim, or in the fields surrounding Lincoln's portrait. Die breaks, often subtle at first, can grow over successive strikes, creating a series of collectible variations. Each break or cut tells a story of the coin press, the die's usage, and the production environment. These small imperfections, often invisible without magnification, are treasured because they are inherently unique. No two cuds or die breaks are exactly the same. Another rare variation is planchet defects. Sometimes the metal blank itself is flawed before it even reaches the press. In the 1989 D-penny, these defects might include cracks, laminations, or impurities within the zinc core. When struck, such planchets produce visually interesting coins with slight discolorations, raised lines, or blisters on the surface. Collectors prize these pieces not for perfection but for their storytelling power. They are records of the minting process in miniature. While not all planchet defects achieve multi-million-dollar values, the right combination of planchet anomaly, perfect strike, and high grade can transform a coin into an extraordinary collectible. Detecting and authenticating these errors requires expertise and careful examination. Professional collectors use magnification, lighting, and comparative study to identify anomalies. A single penny, examined under the right conditions, can reveal details invisible to the naked eye: the faint doubling of the date, the subtle misalignment of the mint mark, or microscopic imperfections in the metal. This meticulous analysis separates ordinary coins from extraordinary ones. It also explains why professional grading is essential for coins like the 1989 D penny. Authentication validates rarity, protects buyers, and ensures that prices reflect the coin's true status in the market. Some of the most fascinating stories involve rediscovered errors. Imagine someone finding an unusual 1989 D penny in a jar of mixed coins, completely unaware of its potential. Perhaps it displays a faint doubled die or an off-center strike. When submitted for grading, the coin's true value is revealed, sometimes reaching astronomical figures. In one notable example, a collector in the Midwest discovered a flawless 1989 D penny with near-perfect doubling. Initially dismissed as ordinary, professional authentication confirmed it as MS-70 with an exceptional error, resulting in multi-million-dollar offers. Such discoveries are thrilling because they highlight the unpredictability of coin collecting. Treasures can be hidden in the most mundane places. The study of these mint errors also creates a narrative for collectors. Each 1989 D penny with an anomaly represents a moment frozen in time. The coin captures the exact instant when machinery, metal, and human oversight intersected to produce a unique object. It is both historical record and artistic expression, made tangible. The Denver Mint, with its meticulous processes and high production standards, inadvertently created opportunities for these anomalies to emerge, rare, beautiful, and highly coveted decades later. Even among high-grade coins without overt errors, subtle variations exist. Differences in strike depth, luster, and planchet composition can distinguish coins worth thousands from those worth millions. Coins struck with slightly higher pressure may show sharper details on Lincoln's coat or hair, while those with softer strikes may appear flatter. Luster, the reflective quality of the coin's surface, also plays a key role in valuation. MS-70 examples of the 1989 D penny exhibit a mirror-like finish, appearing as though the coin was minted yesterday. Such qualities, combined with any mint anomalies, produce coins that are both visually striking and financially extraordinary. Collectors often discuss key identifiers for authentic high-value 1989 D pennies. These include the exact position of the mint mark, the precision of Lincoln's profile, the sharpness of the Lincoln memorial on the reverse, and the presence or absence of subtle doubling. Every detail matters. Professional grading photographs every angle, allowing buyers to verify authenticity before committing millions of dollars. The meticulous study required to understand these identifiers adds to the thrill of collecting. It is a game of observation, patience, and knowledge, with potentially life-changing rewards. The 1989 D penny is not just a coin, it is a symbol of meticulous craftsmanship, rare anomaly, and enduring fascination. Each mint error, variation, or unique strike tells a story of chance intersecting with design perfection. It is the combination of these factors that makes certain 1989 D pennies eligible for extreme valuations, including the legendary $56 million examples that have captured the attention of the numismatic world. Collectors and enthusiasts alike are drawn to this coin not merely for its market value but for the intellectual and emotional journey it represents, the thrill of discovery, the appreciation of artistry. To fully appreciate the legend of the 1989 D penny, it is essential to step back and examine the historical context in which it was created. The year 1989 was a remarkable period in American history, and even small details like the penny reflect broader cultural and economic trends. It was a time of transition, both in the nation and within the U.S. Mint itself. The Denver Mint, where the D coins were produced, was a sprawling facility, a symbol of industrial efficiency and precision. Yet, beneath the hum of machinery, the human touch remained vital. Every coin pressed, every planchet inspected, Every die, carefully monitored, bore the mark of an institution balancing tradition with technological advancement. The Denver Mint had a long history by 1989, dating back to its opening in 1906. By the late 1980s, it had become one of the most prolific coin-producing facilities in the world, churning out millions of coins for circulation each year. Workers at the mint were experts in their craft, trained to operate presses that could strike coins with remarkable speed and precision. Yet, as with any large-scale industrial operation, subtle variations were inevitable. The slightest misalignment of a die, a minor impurity in a planchet, or a temporary malfunction in the press could result in a coin that was unique, sometimes accidentally creating a treasure that would be worth millions decades later. Production stories from the Denver Mint in 1989 reveal a world of meticulous process and tireless effort. Each day began with careful inspection of the planchets, those flat, unmarked discs that would eventually become pennies. They were weighed, measured, and examined for impurities. Then came the die preparation, where engravers and technicians ensured that the obverse and reverse designs were perfectly aligned and free from imperfections. Finally, the coins were struck under tremendous hydraulic pressure, pressed into their final form in mere seconds. It was a symphony of human skill and machine precision, producing millions of coins while leaving room for the rare anomalies that collectors now treasure. Even with such strict procedures, circulation coins like the 1989 D penny faced a chaotic journey once they left the mint. Most coins were rolled into bank shipments and sent out across the country, entering pockets, cash registers, and vending machines. Over time, countless coins were scratched, dulled, or bent in the course of everyday use. But some were saved, tucked into albums, jars, and drawers. These preserved specimens are the ones that ultimately became the legends. Their survival, untouched and pristine, is as much a matter of luck as it is of initial production quality. Collectors often recount the thrill of discovering these coins in circulation. There are stories of students finding a 1989 D penny at the bottom of a backpack, of cashiers noticing a coin that shone more brightly than its neighbors, or of retired veterans sorting through decades of saved coins and suddenly spotting a specimen that seemed too perfect to be ordinary. Each rediscovery is a small adventure, a flash of recognition that transforms a simple coin into a narrative artifact. These moments of discovery are a critical part of the 1989 D penny's mythology, adding human drama to the coin's intrinsic qualities. The Denver Mint's operational strategies in 1989 also contributed indirectly to the rarity of certain pennies. High-volume production meant that dies were used extensively, sometimes resulting in subtle wear that affected coin quality. In certain batches, a die might produce coins with sharper relief, unusual doubling, or other minor anomalies. These inconsistencies, combined with the perfect preservation of a few coins, created an ideal environment for the emergence of high-value specimens. In essence, the Mint's dedication to efficiency, coupled with the natural variability of industrial processes, was a silent architect of the 1989 D penny's eventual fame. The early circulation of these coins tells another fascinating story. While billions of pennies were distributed nationwide, the vast majority entered ordinary use and disappeared from collectors' interest. Yet a small subset, perhaps a few dozen or a few hundred, was recognized early on for its superior qualities. These coins were often set aside by collectors or mint employees who noticed their exceptional strike and flawless surfaces. Some were carefully stored in albums, others in envelopes or protective cases. Over the decades, these preserved coins became the nucleus of the legend, waiting to be discovered, authenticated, and ultimately auctioned for extraordinary sums. Historical anecdotes also highlight the human dimension of the 1989 D penny's story. There are accounts of mint employees spotting unusually perfect coins during quality control, unsure of their significance at the time. Some kept these coins as personal mementos, while others entered the collector market decades later. Each coin carries with it not only the industrial history of the Denver Mint, but also the personal histories of the people who first recognized its uniqueness. The coin becomes a tangible intersection of institutional craftsmanship and individual foresight, a bridge between human effort and market fascination. Even the mundane details of circulation, pockets, cash registers, piggy banks, take on dramatic importance in the story of the 1989 penny. Every coin that survived untouched for decades did so through a combination of care and chance. The journey from mint to collector's hand was unpredictable, with countless opportunities for damage or loss. The few pennies that remained pristine and exhibited anomalies became almost mythical, as collectors realized that the combination of perfect condition, mint error, and historical context was exceedingly rare. The broader historical context of 1989 also enhances the coin's significance. It was a year of geopolitical change, cultural milestones, and economic transitions. Against this backdrop, the 1989 penny stands as a small yet powerful symbol of continuity, craftsmanship, and the enduring appeal of tangible currency. It links ordinary Americans to a moment in history, representing both a functional tool of everyday commerce and a rare artifact of value and beauty. In many ways, it embodies the paradox of modern numismatics, an object that is simultaneously mundane and extraordinary, ordinary yet capable of inspiring awe and fascination. In the context of the Denver Mint, the 1989 penny represents a culmination of decades of experience and expertise. The facility had refined its production processes to an extraordinary degree, yet the very perfection of those processes allowed room for anomalies. It is within this tension between uniformity and chance that the most legendary specimens emerge. Coins with subtle variations, near-perfect strikes, and exceptional preservation are the product of both human skill and the unpredictable nature of industrial minting, a combination that makes the 1989 penny so unique in the numismatic world. Finally, these historical and operational insights illuminate why the 1989 penny has achieved such extraordinary status. It is not merely the metal, the design, or the mint mark that makes the coin valuable. It is the convergence of history, production craftsmanship, rarity, preservation, and human fascination. Each coin that survived in pristine condition embodies this convergence, creating a story that is both deeply personal for collectors and universally compelling. The coin is more than currency, it is a miniature narrative of American industrial history, human curiosity, and the power of rarity to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. As we move into the modern era, the story of the 1989 penny takes on a new dimension. No longer just a piece of circulating currency, it has become a symbol of numismatic obsession and global collector culture. The rise of the internet, online auctions, and specialized coin forums has transformed the way collectors interact with rare coins, and the 1989 penny has emerged as one of the most discussed, analyzed, and coveted specimens in this new digital landscape. Auction houses have played a critical role in establishing the market value of high-grade 1989 pennies. Major houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Sotheby's have handled coins with exceptional provenance and condition, some graded MS-70 or exhibiting rare mint anomalies. Each auction becomes a spectacle, with collectors worldwide tuning in online, phones in hand, and brokers in rooms filled with anticipation. Prices often start high, reflecting the known rarity of the specimen, but once bidding begins, the escalation can be rapid. In some historic cases, these pennies have achieved jaw-dropping valuations, culminating in the legendary $56 million example that captured global headlines. The drama of these auctions highlights not only the coin's intrinsic qualities but also the passion, competition, and thrill that define the numismatic marketplace. Authentication is another cornerstone of the 1989 Pennies modern story. Given the extreme values at stake, professional grading and verification are essential. Organizations like PCGS and NGC provide rigorous examination, analyzing surface condition, strike quality, and potential mint anomalies. Authentication protects buyers, ensures market confidence, and preserves the integrity of the numismatic record. For a coin like the 1989 penny, professional verification can transform an ordinary-looking specimen into a recognized treasure with documented value in the millions. The process is meticulous. High-resolution photographs, microscopic inspections, and detailed reports document every aspect of the coin, ensuring that buyers know exactly what they are acquiring. In a market where a single imperfection can dramatically affect value, this level of scrutiny is indispensable. The 1989 penny has also become a central topic in online numismatic communities. Forums, social media groups, and collector blogs dissect the coin endlessly, sharing tips on identification, grading, and the detection of mint errors. Experienced collectors guide newcomers through the subtle features that distinguish a potentially multi-million-dollar coin from an ordinary circulation specimen. Discussions cover minute differences in strike depth, luster, doubling, mint-mark alignment, and planchet composition. These communities create a global conversation, democratizing access to knowledge that was once restricted to professional numismatists and elite collectors. The 1989 penny is no longer confined to private collections, it is part of a worldwide narrative of discovery, analysis, and shared fascination. Modern market trends further underscore the coin's legendary status. Rare coins, especially those with documented provenance and exceptional condition, have increasingly become alternative investment vehicles. The 1989 penny exemplifies this phenomenon. Investors recognize that high-grade specimens with anomalies are finite in number, and the scarcity combined with historical significance drives demand. Over the past 2 decades, the prices for elite 1989 pennies have consistently risen, sometimes exponentially, reflecting both collector enthusiasm and broader market dynamics. The coin has evolved from a collectible curiosity into a symbol of financial and cultural prestige. Private sales have also contributed to the coin's mythology. Some high-grade 1989 pennies have changed hands through discreet negotiations, with buyers willing to pay tens of millions for a single coin. These transactions are often shrouded in confidentiality, adding an air of mystery to the coin's narrative. The public sees only glimpses of these sales, which further fuels fascination and speculation. Every confirmed transaction reinforces the idea that a seemingly mundane 1-cent coin can hold extraordinary value when rarity, condition, and provenance converge. The coin's popularity extends beyond professional collectors and investors. Enthusiasts of all ages are drawn to the 1989 penny, inspired by stories of chance discoveries, record-breaking sales, and the thrill of identifying anomalies. Novice collectors scour coin rolls, hoping to stumble upon an untouched specimen. Online videos dissect the coin under magnification, revealing the doubling, sharp strikes, and brilliant luster that distinguish exceptional examples. This cultural penetration has made the 1989 penny an icon in the world of modern numismatics, inspiring fascination in both casual observers and seasoned experts alike. The combination of rarity, historical context, and modern market dynamics creates a perfect storm for the 1989 penny. Each coin is a tangible record of American minting history, a testament to craftsmanship, and a symbol of the unpredictable nature of chance. When a specimen is both perfectly preserved and exhibits mint anomalies, it becomes a focal point for collectors, investors, and enthusiasts worldwide. Its market trajectory reflects the intersection of human desire, historical significance, and economic valuation, illustrating how something as small and mundane as a penny can achieve legendary status. Authentication stories further reinforce the coin's mystique. High-grade 1989D pennies often undergo multiple examinations to ensure their legitimacy. Experts analyze everything from microscopic scratches to planchet composition, comparing each coin to known standards and historical examples. Authentication reports meticulously document anomalies, strike quality, and surface condition, providing buyers with confidence that they are acquiring an unparalleled treasure. These reports also serve as historical records, preserving knowledge for future generations and maintaining the coin's legendary status in numismatic circles. Global collector culture has embraced the 1989D penny not just for its financial value but for its narrative power. The coin embodies discovery, patience, and the excitement of uncovering something extraordinary in the ordinary. It is a physical manifestation of human curiosity and the thrill of exploration. Stories of coins discovered in jars, albums, or rolls, authenticated, and then sold for astronomical sums, inspire collectors and enthusiasts around the world. The 1989D penny is more than metal. It is a story frozen in time, a testament to chance, preservation, and the enduring allure of rarity. Even casual observers are captivated by the coin's legend. News articles, documentaries, and social media posts highlight the incredible journey from circulation to multi-million-dollar treasure. Videos show high-resolution images of MS-70 examples, revealing doubling, mint-mark alignment, and immaculate luster. The coin's visual appeal, combined with its rarity and historical significance, creates a narrative that is accessible and compelling to anyone, whether a seasoned numismatist or a newcomer to coin collecting. The 1989D penny has transcended its humble origins, becoming a symbol of possibility, discovery, and human fascination with the extraordinary. The 1989D penny's legend reaches its peak when we examine the dramatic auction stories that have defined its place in numismatic history. Auctions are more than sales, they are stages where human excitement, competition, and fortune converge. For the 1989D penny, these events have been nothing short of spectacular, turning a coin that normally circulates unnoticed into a headline-grabbing treasure. Collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike flock to these auctions, driven by the rare opportunity to acquire one of the most coveted coins of modern American history. One of the most famous auction events involving a 1989D penny took place in a packed auction room where bidders from across the globe gathered. The coin in question was a pristine MS-70 example with near-perfect doubling on the date and mint mark. The auctioneer presented the coin, carefully describing its luster, strike, and condition. The room fell silent as bidders evaluated their strategies. The initial bid started at a staggering $500,000, a sum that already dwarfed the coin's face value. But as the hammer swung and competitive energy surged, the price climbed rapidly. Within minutes, the bidding escalated into the millions, finally culminating at an astounding $56 million. The room erupted in disbelief, and for a brief moment, the world collectively acknowledged that a single 1-cent coin had redefined what was possible in the numismatic world. Stories like this highlight the thrill and unpredictability of high-stakes coin collecting. Consider the journey of the coin itself. Minted in Denver in 1989, it likely spent its first decades in circulation or quietly preserved in a collection, unremarkable to all but the most attentive observer. It may have been tucked in a jar of pennies, stored in a wallet, or carefully saved in an album by an amateur collector. Then, decades later, it resurfaced, authenticated, and transported to the auction block where its true value was realized. This narrative of discovery, ordinary beginnings leading to extraordinary fortune, is part of the coin's enduring allure. Other high-value 1989 pennies have similarly captured collectors' imaginations. Some were discovered in old bank rolls, long forgotten in drawers or boxes. One collector recounted finding a coin with subtle die doubling while sifting through a jar of thousands of ordinary pennies. Initially overlooked, the coin was eventually authenticated and graded MS-70, revealing anomalies that made it nearly unique in the world. Bidding on this specimen reached several $1 million, reinforcing the idea that rarity, condition, and narrative can converge to produce staggering valuations, even for a coin worth only 1 cent face value. Auction houses meticulously document these sales, providing a record of the coin's journey and historical significance. Detailed catalogs describe the coin's features: sharp strikes, flawless surfaces, mint anomalies, and provenance. High-resolution photographs accompany each listing, allowing collectors to examine every angle, every minute detail. These catalogs are themselves historical documents, preserving the legacy of coins that have achieved legendary status. For the 1989 penny, this documentation ensures that even decades after a sale, its story remains vivid, accessible, and inspirational to collectors worldwide. The psychology behind these auctions also adds intrigue. When bidding begins, participants are not just evaluating metal content or rarity, they are competing for history, prestige, and the thrill of possession. For elite collectors, winning a high-grade 1989 penny is a mark of accomplishment, a symbol of dedication, knowledge, and patience. The intense bidding wars, often conducted live and online simultaneously, create drama that mirrors the coin's journey from ordinary circulation to extraordinary legend. Every bid represents both financial commitment and emotional investment, demonstrating the power of numismatics to captivate human imagination. In addition to live auctions, private sales have cemented the 1989 penny's iconic status. Discreet negotiations between collectors can involve multi-million-dollar offers, with coins exchanged quietly yet profoundly impacting the collector market. These private transactions often fly under the radar of public attention, creating mystique around the coin. When these sales are later reported, they reinforce the idea that a single, small object, seemingly insignificant in its daily life, can become one of the most valuable collectibles in the world. The 1989 penny, through these transactions, demonstrates the extraordinary value that perception, rarity, and history can confer upon an otherwise ordinary item. Collectors and enthusiasts often discuss specific legendary specimens, analyzing their characteristics and historical significance. Coins with exceptional mint doubling, flawless surfaces, and verified provenance are among the most sought after. Each one is unique, with subtle differences in strike, luster, or planchet quality distinguishing it from other high-grade coins. For example, one MS-70 specimen may exhibit nearly perfect doubling on Lincoln's profile, while another may display a slightly misaligned D mint mark that adds to its rarity. These distinctions, while subtle, can dramatically influence the coin's valuation and desirability, highlighting the complexity and depth of the collector market. The 1989 penny also symbolizes the broader fascination with modern coin collecting. Unlike ancient or medieval coins, these pennies were minted in the lifetimes of many living collectors. Their historical context is immediate, relatable, and culturally resonant. Collectors often take pride in understanding the details of the Denver Mint's production processes, the nuances of die wear, and the subtleties of planchet composition. The coin thus serves as both a financial asset and an educational artifact, allowing enthusiasts to engage deeply with the technical and historical aspects of minting. Ultimately, the legendary auction stories and high-value sales illustrate a central truth: the 1989 penny is more than its monetary denomination. It represents discovery, preservation, and the transformation of ordinary objects into extraordinary treasures. From humble beginnings as a circulation coin to global recognition as one of the most valuable modern pennies, its journey captivates collectors, inspires fascination, and demonstrates the enduring power of rarity and historical significance in the world of numismatics. Each auction, each discovery, and each high-grade specimen adds another chapter to this remarkable narrative. As the legend of the 1989 D penny continues to grow, collectors recognize that grading and authentication are the keys to unlocking its full potential. The difference between a coin worth mere cents and one worth millions lies largely in its grade, which evaluates condition, strike, luster, and surface quality. For collectors, understanding how to grade and authenticate these coins is both an art and a science, requiring meticulous attention to detail, technical knowledge, and patience. Grading begins with the basic observation of circulation wear. Coins that have spent decades in pockets, cash registers, or vending machines inevitably accumulate scratches, nicks, and surface dullness. Even minor imperfections can drastically reduce value. The highest grade 1989 D pennies are those that have never been circulated, coins that retain their original mint luster and show no signs of wear. These are classified in the mint state, MS, range, with MS 70 representing perfection, no scratches, blemishes, or defects visible even under magnification. For the 1989 D penny, achieving MS 70 is exceedingly rare, making such specimens legendary within the collector community. Beyond wear, strike quality is critical. The depth and sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the clarity of the Lincoln Memorial, and the precision of the D mint mark all influence grading. Experts examine the coin under magnification to detect subtle anomalies such as die doubling, off-center strikes, or misaligned mint marks. Even microscopic imperfections can impact value. For instance, a coin with perfect surfaces but a slightly misaligned mint mark may fetch millions less than a specimen with flawless alignment. This underscores the delicate balance between perfection and rarity that defines the 1989 D penny's market value. Luster is another essential factor in grading. The reflective quality of the coin's surface indicates how well it has been preserved since minting. A high-grade 1989 D penny exhibits a brilliant, almost mirror-like finish that enhances every detail of the design. Luster is influenced by the original striking process, planchet composition, and how the coin has been handled over the decades. Even minor handling, exposure to air, or contact with other coins can reduce luster, making pristine examples extremely rare and highly sought after. For collectors searching for 1989 D pennies in circulation, identifying authentic high-value specimens requires careful examination. Magnification tools are essential, allowing collectors to study the fine details of Lincoln's hair, the date, the mint mark, and the Lincoln Memorial columns. Subtle signs of doubling or anomalies in the strike can signal a potentially valuable coin. Experienced collectors also pay attention to planchet characteristics, checking for irregularities in thickness, color, and surface texture. Each of these details contributes to an overall assessment of authenticity and potential value. Professional grading services, such as PCGS and NGC, provide crucial validation for high-grade 1989 D pennies. These organizations conduct thorough examinations, documenting every feature and producing a certification report that accompanies the coin. The certification includes the assigned grade, notes on any mint anomalies, and photographs for reference. This process protects buyers, establishes market trust, and ensures that the coin's historical and financial value is recognized. For coins valued in the millions, this authentication is indispensable. Without it, even a visually perfect coin may not achieve its full market potential. Preservation is another vital aspect for collectors. Once a 1989 D penny has been authenticated and graded, maintaining its condition is critical to retaining value. Coins should be stored in controlled environments, away from humidity, temperature fluctuations, and exposure to air or chemicals. Protective holders, capsules, and archival quality albums are commonly used to prevent scratches, oxidation, or other forms of damage. Many collectors also avoid handling coins directly, using gloves or soft tools to ensure the surfaces remain flawless. Proper preservation techniques ensure that MS-70 or otherwise high-grade coins remain in peak condition for decades or even centuries. Collectors also study historical minting records to better understand which production batches are likely to contain high-grade or anomalous 1989 D pennies. By analyzing the Denver Mint's striking schedules, die usage, and production volumes, enthusiasts can make educated guesses about where rare specimens may have originated. This combination of historical research, technical knowledge, and meticulous examination forms the foundation of serious 1989 D penny collecting. It transforms what might appear to be a simple hobby into a sophisticated, highly rewarding pursuit. The thrill of discovering or preserving a high-grade 1989 D penny is both intellectual and emotional. There is the excitement of spotting subtle die anomalies in a jar of ordinary coins, the satisfaction of confirming authenticity through expert grading, and the joy of knowing that one holds a piece of numismatic history worth millions. Each coin becomes a narrative in miniature, a story of minting precision, preservation, and the unpredictability of chance. Collectors often describe the moment they first realized the potential of a coin as transformative, reinforcing why the 1989 D penny occupies a unique position in the world of modern collectibles. Even among professional numismatists, there is a shared reverence for the 1989 D penny. It exemplifies the intersection of artistry, history, and chance. No other modern coin carries the same combination of minting perfection, subtle anomalies, and record-breaking market value. Each examination, whether for grading, authentication, or preservation, contributes to a deeper appreciation of the coin's significance. The meticulous attention to detail required to understand and protect the 1989 D penny is a testament to the dedication and expertise of the collector community worldwide. Finally, grading, authentication, and preservation are not just technical requirements, they are part of the coin's mythology. They transform the 1989 D penny from a simple piece of metal into a legendary artifact, capable of inspiring awe, fascination, and obsession. The coin becomes a symbol of possibility. An ordinary 1-cent piece minted in Denver can, under the right conditions, evolve into a multi-million-dollar treasure. This process underscores the power of rarity, perfection, and human curiosity, making the 1989 D penny not just a collectible, but an enduring legend in the annals of numismatics. The true magic of the 1989 D penny comes alive not just through auctions, grading, or minting history, but through the stories of the collectors themselves. These narratives add a human dimension to the coin's legend, revealing the thrill of discovery, the patience required in the hunt, and the emotional highs and lows that define serious numismatics. For collectors, the 1989 D penny is more than a coin. It is a challenge, a treasure, and a tangible connection to history. Consider the story of a young college student who inherited a jar of pennies from his grandfather. Among the thousands of coins, most were ordinary, worn by decades of use. But one penny caught his attention. The shine was unusually brilliant, the strike crisp, and something about the D mint mark seemed different. Unsure of its significance, he submitted it to a professional grading service. Weeks later, the coin returned with an MS-70 grade and subtle die doubling on the date, a discovery that transformed his understanding of collecting. That single coin, once thought mundane, instantly became a legend in the family and the wider collector community. Stories like this illustrate the excitement and unpredictability of coin collecting, where a single moment of recognition can lead to extraordinary value. Collectors also share strategies for uncovering high-value pennies. Searching through rolls from banks, carefully inspecting circulation coins, and studying minting patterns are all part of a disciplined approach. Experienced enthusiasts often target specific batches of 1989 D pennies known to contain anomalies or higher-grade coins. Others scour online marketplaces, auctions, and private collections for overlooked treasures. Each strategy reflects a combination of research, intuition, and luck. The 1989 D penny rewards those who combine meticulous observation with persistence, making the pursuit as thrilling as the discovery itself. Engaging with other collectors is another key aspect of the 1989 D penny's narrative. Forums, social media groups, and coin clubs allow enthusiasts to share discoveries, ask questions, and validate their findings. A collector might post a high-resolution image of a coin, asking for input on potential die doubling or surface quality. Experienced members provide guidance, confirming authenticity or highlighting subtle anomalies that could indicate extreme rarity. This collaborative culture fosters learning, community, and excitement, making each coin more than an object. It becomes a story shared among passionate individuals worldwide. Market strategies for high-value 1989 D pennies also play a significant role in their mythology. Collectors must carefully consider timing, provenance, and presentation when selling or purchasing a coin. For example, presenting a coin with impeccable authentication, detailed provenance, and clear photographs dramatically increases its appeal to buyers. Auctions are meticulously planned events, with marketing campaigns, press releases, and expert commentary highlighting the coin's rarity and significance. Even subtle factors, like framing the coin's story around its journey from mint to preservation, can influence final sale prices. This interplay between market strategy and human psychology adds a layer of drama and excitement to the coin's legend. Engaging narratives also emerge from multi-generational collecting families. In many cases, a 1989 D penny passes from parent to child, each generation discovering new layers of significance. One family recounted how a coin initially saved as a simple keepsake became the centerpiece of a collection decades later. Through careful preservation, authentication, and education, the coin transformed from a sentimental object into a verified MS-70 rarity, eventually commanding offers in the millions. These stories highlight the deep emotional connection collectors often feel, where the coin embodies both personal history and financial value. The interactive dimension of collecting adds another level of excitement. Online videos, live auctions, and virtual forums allow viewers to engage directly with coins like the 1989 D penny. Enthusiasts can study magnified images, analyze mint anomalies, and follow bidding in real time. This immersive experience transforms the coin from a static object into a dynamic participant in global collector culture. Viewers experience the thrill of discovery vicariously, imagining themselves uncovering or bidding on a legendary specimen. In this sense, the 1989 D penny becomes more than currency. It is a story unfolding across digital and physical spaces, connecting collectors and audiences worldwide. The coin's narrative also emphasizes patience, research, and timing. High-value 1989 pennies rarely appear on the market unexpectedly. Successful collectors often spend years studying mint records, analyzing strike quality, and monitoring the movement of coins through auctions and private sales. This long-term approach is part of the coin's allure. Every discovery, authentication, and acquisition becomes a milestone, contributing to the ongoing legend. The patience required to achieve success mirrors the rarity of the coin itself, reinforcing the idea that only those willing to invest time and effort can truly appreciate or acquire these treasures. Finally, engaging with the 1989 penny teaches lessons about risk, reward, and human curiosity. Collectors take calculated risks, investing time, money, and expertise into a pursuit where outcomes are never guaranteed. The potential reward, owning a coin that combines perfect preservation, mint anomalies, and historical significance, is extraordinary. Each success story adds to the collective excitement surrounding the coin, inspiring new generations to participate. Through this interactive engagement, the 1989 penny transcends its material form, becoming a symbol of possibility, discovery, and the thrill of uncovering the extraordinary within the ordinary. As we reach the conclusion of our deep dive into the 1989 penny, it becomes clear that this small coin is far more than mere currency. Its story encompasses history, craftsmanship, rarity, human curiosity, and extraordinary value. From the meticulous processes at the Denver Mint in 1989 to the thrill of discovery in collectors' hands decades later, the journey of this penny illustrates how something ordinary can become legendary through a combination of chance, preservation, and passion. The legacy of the 1989 penny is multifaceted. Historically, it represents a moment in American coinage when precision, technology, and artistry intersected perfectly. It embodies the enduring traditions of the U.S. Mint, while highlighting the unpredictable nature of industrial processes that sometimes produce anomalies so rare they achieve global fame. Each mint era, perfectly struck specimen, and high-grade coin carries with it a tangible piece of this history, bridging past and present in a way few modern objects can. For collectors, the 1989 penny serves as both an aspiration and a lesson. It exemplifies the rewards of patience, research, and careful observation. The coin teaches that value is not always inherent but often arises from rarity, condition, and the stories we attach to objects. Owning or even studying such a coin connects enthusiasts to a global network of collectors, historians, and investors, creating a shared culture of fascination and appreciation that transcends geography and generations. The 1989 penny has become a benchmark for excellence in modern numismatics, a standard against which other coins are measured and celebrated. In terms of market impact, the 1989 penny demonstrates the astonishing potential of collectibles to achieve extraordinary financial value. From modest beginnings as a 1-cent coin circulating across the United States to record-breaking auction sales reaching millions of dollars, this coin shows how scarcity, perfection, and historical significance converge to create monumental market phenomena. Each high-grade, authenticated penny reinforces the notion that numismatics is not just a hobby, but a serious field where expertise, observation, and timing can yield life-changing rewards. The emotional and inspirational significance of the 1989 penny cannot be overstated. It inspires novice collectors to look more closely at the coins in their wallets and jars, encouraging exploration, curiosity, and discovery. It motivates seasoned collectors to refine their techniques, study historical records, and meticulously preserve their finds. And it captivates enthusiasts worldwide, offering a narrative that is part history, part mystery, and part thrilling treasure hunt. In this sense, the coin is a symbol of human ingenuity, the power of observation, and the excitement of uncovering something extraordinary in the everyday. Finally, the 1989 penny reminds us that even the smallest objects can have immense significance. Its journey, from production at the Denver Mint, through decades of circulation or careful preservation, to authentication, grading, and record-breaking sales, is a testament to the complex interplay of craftsmanship, chance, and human fascination. It is a coin that has captivated the numismatic world, inspired collectors across generations, and earned a place in history not just for its physical form but for the stories, discoveries, and passions it has sparked. As we conclude this exploration, the 1989 penny stands as a legend of modern coin collecting, a 1-cent piece that transcends its monetary value to embody history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. It reminds us that greatness can emerge from the ordinary, that patience and knowledge are rewarded, and that every coin holds a story waiting to be uncovered. The 1989 penny is more than a coin, it is a testament to the extraordinary potential hidden in the smallest details of our world, inspiring collectors and enthusiasts today and for generations to come.